The next paragraph I thought was a little bit interesting, where it says next year's conference will be aimed at specifically collection managers. And then talking about, again, collection information sharing. So that would be.
I want to know how many of these things there are, these target officers of primary interest. So you'll know from previous episodes, you guys, that one of those is the German target office of primary interest that was spying on Merkel.
Yeah.
So the target office of primary interest appears to be the collection site, which in this case was in the US Embassy in Germany. The area of whatever it is, SOC or whatever, the area of operations or command or whatever. I'm getting my terminology mixed up, but that's the lily pad that's in Germany, from which is the like stopover point for the drone. So you have the collections and the operations are different.
So how does that relate to fusion centers? Because I have that connected to this.
Fusion centers are like, imagine a call center. Imagine a giant call center where they are receiving and sending information interagencies. And they do have analysis components as well. They're also analyzing the information, but they're like a bridge. They're like a bridge between agencies, between local agencies and all sorts of government, not only government agencies, though, also the private sector as well. So like they might be informing a bank that they have information on something related to that bank, or as we know, Federal Reserve Bank of America is a customer of NSA. You'll have local banks in local states that are customers of the fusion centers. So fusion centers are combining, the reason it's called fusion is because they're combining the information from all of those sources. And when I say they're a call center, it's because they're literally making the call, they're receiving the calls from the agencies and making the calls to the affected or potentially affected parties, interested parties.
Okay, that explains a lot to me. Thank you for defining that.
So I feel like that was actually a really terrible explanation.
No, I think that's the type of thing I'd like to see in a short clip, because I think, I don't come at this with any knowledge of that type of terminology. So it helps me to understand better.
So what the fusion centers were doing, I think if you think of it in the 9/11 context, it's the information sharing, right? So they're trying to implement information sharing. Now we see in the NSA documents, they have Transformation 2.0 program where they're wanting to enhance the information sharing around the globe and their global network, as they call it. The fusion centers are implementing Transformation 2.0 nationally.
So on the ground, they're basically on the ground implementation of that.
They're the interagency call center that says, this has come in from the FBI, we need to send it to XYZ Sheriff's Office. We need to tell Bank of America branch located at wherever. They are kind of like a little mini NSAs, like.
Okay. So the way I'm understanding,
I don't believe they're performing the physical collection, but they're bringing all of it together and then sorting through it and determining who needs to have access to it, and then making sure that they get that phone call. That's why I say call center, because they are responsible for making sure that that knowledge gap is filled.
Yeah, so for me, the way I'm understanding what you're saying is that these are the equivalent of NSA's boots on the ground, even though you talk about the passage of information and not literally, but.
I wouldn't call them NSA's boots on the ground. I'd call them NSA's call center.
Okay.
So to me, NSA's boots on the ground is like the guy that they send to be with the Blackwater team in Iraq on top of the building because he's the SIGINT guy. Yeah. Like that, the actual deployments would be the NSA boots on the ground. But NSA call center is in like, they're doing the legwork of the making sure XYZ is informed, NSA is informing people via systems, but they're informing Congress via reporting and liaisons. They're informing partner agencies via their liaisons, like the UK Liaison Office. but they're informing their customers through their customer gateways. They literally, a customer request comes through the portal and then is fulfilled and then gets sent back to them as a product, an intelligence product. They get supplied with an actual file somewhere. I mean, I haven't seen any of them, but somewhere there will be actual files containing intelligence product produced as a response to a customer request.
Okay, that makes sense.
The fusion centers are more like the alert system. They are like liaisons between local and state officials and agencies and the corporates and privates. So that's what I'm trying to say, is like the NSA's customer is the Federal Reserve Bank of America, but the fusion center's customer will be like Lloyd's TSB Bank at whatever, well, that's a UK bank is probably not the greatest, you know, whatever, Citibank. There'll be Citibank on the corner of such and such street in wherever the hell, Idaho, will be like a customer of a fusion center.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Such and such sheriff's office at such and such location will be a customer of a fusion center.
I get it now. Thank you.
And that's what I mean by mini NSA. That's what I'm trying to say by mini NSA. They're like a localized version of an NSA office. And if you go back to that Wikipedia reference that we discussed a few weeks ago, where they make a point of saying they are not a federal agency, they're not. Yeah, so they really want to hammer in the fact that they are state and local, but their operations are similar, with the exception that I do not, as I said before, I do not believe that they are performing the physical collections. They are not doing they're not generating the SIGINT. They're pulling it down from the various databases. So they're having access to databases across a whole range of agencies, but then they are passing that information on. Yeah. To the related parties, the interested parties or potentially affected parties. One of the most interesting, I mean, I think you could spend the rest of your life FOIA-ing fusion centers. Yeah. And that you would find the most incredible information, because I think, yes, they are operating as intelligence agencies. They might not be doing the collections, but they are effectively operating as miniature intelligence agencies.
Like performing specific analysis and all of this. And I can see exactly why they would be so significant. I can see why you've pointed this out before. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so one of the things that really shocked me is that they had been reporting on the pro-lifers and movement and the abolitionists, the anti-abortion
I remember you talking
movement. And that was a huge wake-up call for me, because that was when I realized, like, actually, like, these guys are just surveilling everyone. Like, it's not even that they have like a fixed political agenda other than total control. Yeah. You know, total control of everyone.
Definitely.